Bam. My peoples. My peoples. Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez will fight in a couple months. And everybody's already debating. Everybody's already letting their predictions be known. Everyone feels confident about who's going to win. Let's talk about it, man. I'm JSmiff. This is Box Center. And this is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. We've already seen multiple press conferences between Canelo and Bud. We've seen them go face to face with each other, and you can see the type of energy that they have. Obviously, both fighters feel real confident in themselves. They both feel like they can win this fight. They both feel like they're going to win this fight. Obviously, someone is going to take a L, unless there's a draw, and that's not something. It happens. We've seen draws take place in boxing, but it's not a common thing. I believe we are going to get a clear winner in this fight. And like I said, man, we're months away. We're in June. The fight is in September. And you can already see the energy behind that fight. You can already see how passionate fans are about who they think is going to win. I will tell you this, guys, that I've noticed about Crawford and Canelo. There's a lot of people who are formulating an opinion based on who they like, as opposed to looking at their skill set, their size, everything that they do inside of the ring. A lot of people are not really doing that. As an analyst, that's what I do. A lot of factors that I take into consideration in order to render an opinion. It's not about who I like better or who I follow or who I support. When two fighters get in the ring, I simply go with who I think has the ability to win that fight. Now, if they're both really good, they both have the ability to win. It's just who I think is a better boxer. While everybody's focusing on power, Canelo's bigger, he's stronger, he's going to stop Crawford. Crawford's not going to be able to handle the pressure. All that stuff, I'm not focusing on that stuff because it's related to power. And I know that in this fight, power is not going to dictate the outcome. I've been trying to tell you. You're going to see. It's going to turn into a highly competitive chess match. Both of them, will land big shots on each other. Both of them will have their moment. Nobody's getting washed. That idea that some people have that, Crawford is going to get washed in 4 or 5 rounds. Somebody, I've had people tell me Crawford is going to get smoked in 4 rounds, in 5 rounds, in round number 8. So many people see Crawford getting stopped. And to me, that's crazy. I understand the part about, he's moving up multiple weight classes. And I've been trying to explain it to people. This notion that Canelo's too big and Crawford is going to be too small for him. You should have already seen that that's not the case the first time they faced off after the Williams Score fight. When Crawford climbed the ring and they faced off. But if that wasn't enough, they've already faced off in 3 press conferences. Does Canelo look huge in front of Crawford? I asked you guys in the chat. By the way, good morning, everybody. Does Canelo look huge in front of Crawford if you saw them in the press conferences? No, he does not. He does not. And somebody told me, nah, but Crawford is at walk-around weight. He's at walk-around weight. That doesn't mean anything. But I want you to think something. Crawford actually bulked up to 185 pounds. He gained weight through bulking up. If you see Crawford, go to his Instagram. If you see Crawford, he's like this. He's jacked at 185 pounds. So taking into account that Crawford is going to cut down from 185 pounds to 168, why would anybody even think that this guy's going to be slow or that he's gonna be fat, or that he's gonna be out of shape, or all that stuff. Like, bro, we're talking about an athlete, a special athlete, a guy who's a gym rat, a guy who's in exceptionally great shape. And you think he's gonna cut down to weight to 168 after he's been acclimating himself to the 180s, and he's gonna be slow or he's gonna be fat? Yo, that man is gonna be jacked, bro. He's gonna be ripped. He's gonna be faster than Canelo that night. He's gonna be strong, just as strong, and it's gonna be a tough competitive fight. It's that simple, you know. The notion. That's why I keep telling everybody, why, if you already seen Canelo and Crawford go face to face, are we still even having this conversation about the size? There is no conversation to be had about the size, my people. We already saw them face to face. Canelo's not a huge guy. And he was right there. You saw him nose to nose with Crawford when they did that face-off. So I ask you the magic question. Did you see a Canelo that looked huge in front of Crawford? Did you? Look, that's the Canelo right there that people thought was going to be a giant in front of Terence Crawford. So that's why I explained to everybody yesterday, weight classes for a reason does not apply to this fight at all. When people use that term, weight classes for a reason, in this fight, is because they don't really understand what it means. You don't really understand what it means. Weight classes for a reason means, of course, a lightweight cannot fight a heavyweight because they're so far apart from each other that the heavyweight will be too big for the lightweight. That's what lightweight for a reason means. But two guys who are in and around or close to the same division, and their frame, their physical size is close to the same, weight classes for a reason doesn't apply. Crawford is a little bit taller than Canelo, has longer reach than Canelo. And by the way, while Canelo was making 168 to fight William Score, Crawford was walking around weighing 185 pounds. Just a few weeks ago, Crawford was outweighing Canelo by almost 20 pounds. Weight classes for a reason does not apply to this fight. Don't even use that term no more, my peoples. Maker, JSmiff, what up? Maker, my G, what's the deal? Appreciate you dropping in, my brother. You know, we talking about Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford, man. We only in September, and everybody's already debating about this fight. Everybody's putting in their opinion. Look, I don't knock anybody who got Canelo winning the fight. I don't knock you. If you got Canelo winning, I don't knock you for that. Because, like I said, man, Canelo's a great fighter. He's a pound for pound. One of the greats of this era will go down as an all-time great. So I don't knock you if you got Canelo winning it. But all I'm telling you is, if Canelo was to win, it's not going to be because of the weight, my peoples. It could be because of the skills. It could be because he landed a big shot on Crawford, you know, at any point in the fight. But it's not going to be because of the weight. These two guys are weighing right around the same thing right now. Crawford was almost 20 pounds heavier than Canelo just a few weeks ago, when he was weighing 185 and Canelo was weighing 168 for William Score. So you have to understand that Crawford has been weighing over 180 pounds for months. Been working out, been training, been in the gym. He's jacked. Jacked. Angry Mexican. Good morning, JSmiff. Salute, my brother. Good morning. So, all I say, you know, if you look at the pictures, and I'm glad you're here, Angry Mexican, because I think you mentioned to me, you know, the three divisions, the weight class for a reason, and how Canelo's so big. If we've already seen the three press conferences, you know, the one in Dubai, the one in Saudi Arabia, the one in New York, and then there was another one, I forgot where it was. If we seen them, and we seen them go face to face with each other, how are we still even bringing up that Canelo's too big or that there's weight classes for a reason? We're watching them go face to face. Canelo is definitely not too big for Crawford. He does not look big in front of Crawford. So, people had that idea. And if you've been following me long enough, I told you guys like months ago. I was like, yo, when it's finally time for them to fight each other, Canelo's not gonna be huge in front of Crawford. I already knew this. I knew this because Canelo's a small 168 pounder. So I knew this was gonna happen. And I told people, yo, for everybody who thinks that Canelo, 2 divisions bigger than Crawford, 3 divisions bigger than Crawford. For people who thought Canelo was gonna be a giant in front of Terrence Crawford, I told you, I was like, wait till they start going on the face-off and you see them face to face. So you can see if Canelo looks like a giant. Or if he's gonna look right about the same size as Crawford. And look, just like I told you, look at the face-off. Look, all 3 of them. Canelo does not look big in front of Crawford at all. So this idea that, Crawford is too small, Canelo's a giant, he's too big for Crawford, we got to drop that already. That narrative got debunked the moment they went face to face. Maker, we saw Vada test butt already. When are they going to check Canelo? Keep it fair. And they're going to keep testing him because we're months away from the fight. So I guarantee you, both guys will be tested multiple times before they get to fight night. And that's the funny thing, that Crawford, man, he's always been a clean fighter. The thing is that fans are obsessed with Victor Conte and Vada. Fans are obsessed. And what's the name of that? Snack. Fans are obsessed with Victor Conte and Snack. But at the end of the day, my peoples, your assumption or your preconceived notion about what you think is happening doesn't make it a fact. As of right now, yes, Victor Conte has a shady past. He's been in trouble in the past. But that doesn't mean that right now he's doing anything wrong, anything illegal. That's only your assumption, what you want to believe, especially because you don't like Crawford. Angry Mexican, JSmiff, we don't know how Bud is going to carry that weight into the ring. Round 6 rolls around. Where will the gas tank be? My guy, I'm telling you, he's gonna carry that weight around like that's his natural weight. If he's walking around at 185, he's in the gym at 185, sparring, hitting the bags, doing his training camp in the 180s, and cutting down to 168. Bro, he's gonna be faster than Canelo that night. He's definitely not going to run out of gas. You see the type of athlete that Terrence Crawford is, my brother. Brian Romero, the only thing I am worried if Crawford could take Canelo punch. Besides that, Crawford destroyed Canelo. So I'll tell you, can Terrence Crawford take Canelo's shot? Look at his entire career, bro. Think about this for a second. Crawford has 42 fights. And in 42 fights, he's been stunned twice. Gamboa over 10 years ago, and Mean Machine, what was that, like 6-7 years ago? In 42 fights, Crawford been stunned twice. And both of those opponents, he knocked them out. So if you really look at how many fights Crawford got, versus how many times he got stunned in the ring, Crawford got a great chin. A great chin. It's only Terrence Crawford haters who try to spread that narrative like, nah, Crawford, he be getting hurt. Dude fought at 154 in his last fight and ate Madrimov's biggest punches and never got hurt. So what we got to understand is that Crawford is fighting Canelo, but he's going to be bigger himself. Canelo's not fighting welterweight Crawford. He's fighting 185 pounds Crawford, who cut down to 168. He's fighting a big dude. We got to start understanding that, my people. President Fade Morelia. Bro, King Canelo is bigger. The fact that you started by calling him King Canelo is crazy. That already says everything that you're going to say going forward. King Canelo. Come on, bro. That weight and power is no joke. Crawford won't handle that power. Okay, so Presidente Fade, you keep saying, look, you're saying King Canelo is bigger, right? That's like some fanboy shit that you're saying because you just watch Canelo fight William Score at 168, my guy, and Crawford was weighing 185 pounds. So if Crawford is weighing more than Canelo, he's taller than Canelo, he has longer reach than Canelo, how can you say Canelo's bigger? Where is Canelo's bigger? How is Canelo bigger? I don't understand. I don't get it. Oscar Malangu, I like Crawford on this fight, but I'm concerned Canelo got an iron chin and he's younger than Bud. So I'll respond to both of your concerns, my guy. Number one, when you say that Canelo's younger than Bud, the difference is 2 years, my guy. Crawford is 37, Canelo's 35. 2 years, that's not a lot. That's number one. And number two, most importantly, you're talking about the chin that Canelo got. Yo, that chin did not help him with Floyd Mayweather. It did not help him with Bivol. Your chin says that you can take a shot. So while you can say that you don't see Canelo getting knocked out, that makes sense. If you see Canelo going the distance, that makes sense. But I've been trying to explain to you, my peoples, Terence Crawford don't need to knock out Canelo to beat him. Both of the guys who beat him simply outboxed him. They outboxed him, and that was it. And they outboxed him thoroughly. Nobody say, yo, Canelo got robbed versus Floyd, or Canelo got robbed versus Bivol. Nobody said that. He got outboxed thoroughly, and therefore, they beat him. They made him look bad. They made Canelo look bad in those two fights. Floyd and Bivol both made it look easy. So while you focusing on power, the guys who beat Canelo did not possess power. Maker, all Bowman needs to do is tell Bud you're down on the scorecards. Then Bud will come out and spar Canelo in the following round. and it's funny because it turned, a lot of people, Crawford haters, kept talking about that. Yo, he was down on the cards on Porter. He was down on the cards before stopping him. And then they found out that he was not. Or if you didn't know, just in case, if you did not know, when Bomac said to Crawford that he was down on the cards, he was actually up on all three cards. So Bomac did that to make sure Crawford had a sense of urgency and start, pressing on the gas. But they was winning the fight. Brian Romero, I agree. Crawford has one of the best chin in boxing. That's a fact. The guy has 42 professional fights. And he's been buzzed twice, 10 years ago, and 6-7 years ago. Think about that. How many fights has Crawford has had? And only his haters would bring up Gamboa from 10 years ago to say that he's chinny, that he got a soft chin. Like, that's crazy work. Muffin Man, MMA is more entertaining. That's a matter of opinion. I don't even watch that shit. I might watch some MMA highlights. This a boxing channel, my guy. Then you could go to MMA channel then and talk to them about MMA. What are you doing over here? I don't get it. Oscar Malango, Maker. If this goes to the judges, I worry about them keeping it fair. Vegas is almost Canelo's hometown at this point. I mean, I feel like Crawford has to win the fight convincingly. Swing rounds, I feel like if a round is real close, it's going to go in Canelo's favor. But Crawford just has the skill set to outbox him in a way that you won't be able to deny him. He's going to win convincingly. Oscar Malango, is the ring size going to be a factor? The ring size is not going to be a factor at all. I know that especially Canelo and others are creating this narrative about how Crawford is going to run and Canelo's going to chase him and in a smaller ring he's going to be in trouble. I want you to think about this, Oscar. Is there a fight in Crawford's career that we've seen him running that we could label him a runner? Has Crawford ever been seen as a runner in his entire career? The answer is no. Crawford is a fighter who's never been a runner. So you could put Crawford inside of a phone booth and he's still going to put the beats on Canelo. The ring size is not going to make it any advantage for Canelo Alvarez? We're going to find out. Angry Mexican. To be fair, Floyd shrunk Canelo down to a cash weight at 152. But you say he shrunk him down, my guy. Canelo was fighting at 154. That's not really shrinking him down. Now, if Canelo would have had to fight him at 147, or if Canelo would have had him fight him at a cash weight at 148, but he fought him, bro, 2 pounds before the weight limit. It was a 154 that Canelo was fighting at that time. And Canelo's a natural 154-pounder who climbed up and fought at bigger weight classes. Bivol brought up Canelo to 175, but it's coming up 2 weight classes. So it's a bit different. So that's not fair to say Bivol brought Canelo up to 175. Bivol didn't bring Canelo up anyway. Canelo wanted to go up to challenge him and try to be great, and got his ass whooped. So you see, let's put it the way that it is. Just like Crawford is trying to jump up and challenge Canelo, that's what Canelo tried, but he got his ass whooped. Brian Romero, how you see Crawford winning this fight? Do you see him doing him like Mayweather or worse? Well, at times, I do see Crawford doing him like Mayweather. And by that, I mean making it look easy. Starting to tee off on Canelo. Starting to make him miss and make him pay. I do see that, but I see that happening towards the end of the fight, closer to the championship rounds. In the beginning, I see a very competitive fight. They're going to go back and forth. They're both going to win rounds. They're both going to land big shots on each other. But I feel like by the 9th, 10th round, Crawford is going to start figuring him out. Or not figuring him out, more getting in the rhythm with the space, with the counter punches, with the timing Canelo. He's going to start doing certain things with the footwork. And I believe that he's going to be able to pull away in the championship rounds. But it's going to be a competitive fight. That's how I see it. Muffin Man came to convert you to MMA. Oh, come on, man. Stop it. This is a boxing channel, my brother. Let's talk boxing over here. James Lynch. Why is Canelo avoiding Benavidez? That's an easy answer, my guy. That's a very easy answer. Canelo's avoiding David Benavidez because Benavidez is physically much bigger than him. Canelo is like 5'7", I think, 5'8". Benavidez is 6 feet tall. The difference in height, the difference in size. So I always gave Canelo a pass for avoiding Benavidez because I was like, yo, Benavidez is so big. If they fight, he'll probably be the first guy to stop Canelo. He's too big. Look, Benavidez only hung around at 168 to try to get that Canelo sweepstake. But even at 175 pounds, he's huge. And y'all saw Canelo get pummeled at 175. The Wheels of Life. Muffin Man. MMA is dead, man. Jones retired now. All the stars are gone. Maker. Canelo telling Bud not to run reveals that Canelo himself doesn't have the footwork to keep up with the movement. Just my opinion. Of course, I agree with you 100%. Canelo knows that he cannot outbox Crawford. That's why he's saying, you better not run. Let's fight. Let's fight. Let's fight. Because he want to get into a rock'em sock'em robots type of fight. That's why I'm telling y'all that this whole narrative about Terence Crawford running, it was started by Canelo Alvarez. Because they want Crawford to try to be over-aggressive and make some mistakes. Canelo's talking about knocking Crawford out because that's the only way that he thinks he could beat him. He knows he cannot outbox Terence Crawford. That's like William Zepeda. He's saying he's going to knock Shakur out. He's going to go for the knockout because William Zepeda knows that he cannot outbox Shakur Stevenson. The only option that you got is a knockout. You're not going to win on the cards. You know that. So that's why I've been telling y'all that Canelo Alvarez fans, subconsciously, it's like you guys know Canelo doesn't have the skills to beat Crawford. Why? Because you guys keep focusing on the weight. Oh, he's bigger. He's stronger. He's this. You're not focusing on skills at all. Brian Romero, why people be trashing Crawford resume, saying he fought bumps? People never give him credit. I don't understand. Because there's hate. There's a lot of hate for Terence Crawford. So they'll make up their own narrative to feed that hate. Terence Crawford got a great resume. Terence Crawford, if he was to retire right now, without fighting Canelo, right now, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer already. Terrence Crawford got a great resume. What happens is two things, my brother. Number one, Crawford got a lot of haters. His haters are going to have a horrible opinion. And number two, most importantly, a lot of people don't know shit about boxing. That's the reality. That is the reality. Look, for the people, and I have people come on the chat all the time and say, oh, Crawford ain't fight nobody. He only fought Spence, right? So I'm going to show you something real quick. But let me read some of y'all comments, my people, because, we going back and forth over here. It's not just about me, it's about us. Maker, have we ever seen Canelo against a fighter who can switch stance? I wonder how he handles Bust's ability to switch. Well, in Canelo's favor, I will say he's training with Duran Ennis, which Boots is a great option to train with as a sparring partner if you're going to fight Terrence Crawford. We know that Boots fight as an orthodox, as a southpaw. He could switch at any time. So I think that's going to be good for Terrence Crawford. My peoples, real quick, I'm going to give you a quick review of Terrence Crawford's resume. Y'all know, maybe some of you in this chat right now may have said, oh, Crawford ain't fight nobody. He didn't beat nobody and all this other stuff. So a quick scan of his resume. Watch this, my peoples. Ricky Burns, former world champion. Gamboa was undefeated when Terrence Crawford fought him. And an Olympian. Raimundo Beltran, former world champion. Thomas DeLorme, former world champion. Derry Jean, former world champion. Henry Lundy, ranked in the top 10 of every sanctioning body. The Wolf of Life, Ricky Burns, that guy could fight. Victor Postol was undefeated, ranked top 10 in all of the sanctioning body. John Molina Jr., ranked in all of the sanctioning bodies, top 10. Dominican Felix Diaz, Olympic gold medalist, was 19-1 when Crawford fought him. Now look at this streak Crawford went on. Julius Ndangan, reigning world champion, undefeated. Jeff Horn, undefeated, reigning world champion. Jose Benavides Jr., undefeated, ranked top 10 in all of the sanctioning bodies. Amir Khan, a world champion, multi-division world champion. Mean Machine, undefeated, 21-0, ranked top 10 in all of the sanctioning body. Kell Brooks, reigning champion. Sean Porter, reigning, a former world champion that was ranked top 10 in all of the sanctioning body. David Avanesian, ranked top 10 in all of the sanctioning bodies. Errol Spence Jr., 3-belt unified world champion, pound for pound fighter. Israel Madrimov, reigning world champion at the 154 division. My peoples, anybody who says that Terrence Crawford resume is no good, they either a hater or they don't know shit about boxing. Terrence Crawford got a Hall of Fame resume. Terrence Crawford's headed straight to the Hall of Fame, first ballot. First ballot. First ballot. That's what you have to understand. Angry Mexican, Ndango, yes, that's a reigning world champion who was undefeated at the time Crawford beat him. And he beat him to become undisputed, if I'm not mistaken, with a vicious body shot. That's what I'm telling you, Angry Mexican. Some people feel like if you're not a superstar, you're no good. People think that you have to be the biggest and the most famous people. And then when you really take a good look at Crawford's resume, he not fighting bums. He not fighting guys who are losing records. He not fighting guys who ain't never did nothing. He fighting guys who are champions, former champions, and highly ranked. What are we talking about? Come on now. David Shotwell, you got to be a boxing coach. Nah, my brother, I'm not a boxing coach. I have worked with coaches. I was an amateur boxer, one professional boxing fight, but I've been involved in boxing a lot. Armando Aguilar, but he only fights once a year. I mean, I don't know where you got that from, that he only fights once a year. He's at the tail end of his career, and every fighter at the tail end of their career doesn't fight that often, my brother. Terrence Crawford about to be 37 years old, and he's been waiting for the Canelo fight. But before that, he was fighting 2-3 times a year, just like everyone else. Come on now. Frank, Crawford beat some of the men out of Spence, like Thanos and Hulk. Yo, that beating that he put on Errol Spence, instead of making Spence fans show him love, it made Errol Spence fans hate him even more. Errol Spence fans hate Crawford. Why? Because they thought Spence was going to knock him out. And Crawford put the Swiss, the Dre, and the Apple beats on Errol Spence. Let's keep it 100, my people. N360, that shirt is fire, bro. Is that a jersey? I appreciate it, my guy. It's not a jersey. It's actually a regular shirt, but the material is a little bit different because it's a running shirt. So they got that fabric that is like a little bit shiny. But nah, it's not a jersey. It's just a regular running shirt. Ozzy, this a big audience. Give your boy JSmiff a like. Yeah, man. 70 of us in here, man, and I got 11 likes. Y'all don't got to do me like this, my peoples. I'm going to keep spitting this fire for y'all. But at least hit that like button. God damn, y'all smoking me out here. Tactical statistician. Crawford, a great fighter. Canelo win is inevitable. Okay, but why do you think Canelo's win is inevitable? Because I got Crawford smoking Canelo. I got Crawford winning that fight by unanimous decision. David Shotwell, very knowledgeable about boxing, and you get the right to the point. I appreciate it, my guy. That's what I try to do. Just get to the point, and I come up with my opinion. You guys come up with yours. I'm never going to knock you for having a different opinion than mine. I always tell people, if we all had the same opinion, this would be a boring-ass conversation. Oh, yeah, he's the best. Yeah, I agree, he's the best. Yeah, he's definitely the best. This will be a whack-ass conversation. When we disagree, that's when we can have a good debate. Maker, Mayweather and Bud are good homies. And Floyd said Canelo is easy work. I wonder if he gave Bud some insight. Yeah, I would assume that he did. You know, Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford got good communication. I would assume that they had conversation about some of the things. And also, you got to keep in mind, Canelo Alvarez is not the same fighter who fought Floyd Mayweather. He was, I think, 23 at that time. So, to be fair, he's not the same guy. He's a lot better than when he stepped in the ring with Floyd. This is what I don't understand, my peoples, in boxing. I want you to consider this. Why is it that some boxing fans, in order to uplift this fighter, they got to knock that fighter? They got to hate on that fighter. You see Canelo fans saying, Crawford is not that good. His resume is not that good. He's been knocked down. He's been hurt. Like, you got to hate on him. Meanwhile, when I talk about it, I'm telling you Crawford's going to win, but I don't got to hate on Canelo. I tell people, yo, Canelo's a great fighter. He's a pound-for-pound fighter. He's one of the most accomplished fighters of this generation. Why am I going to hate on him? I simply feel like Crawford could outbox him. But Canelo's a great fighter. Somebody yesterday told me that they were 100% sure that Crawford was going to win. And I said, hold on, buddy. Hold on. I got Crawford winning, but when you say 100%, that's even disrespectful to Canelo. Because he is a great fighter. Let's not act like Canelo's just some average Joe now. Nobody's going to just walk, knock him out and just walk through him. Come on now. So I feel like Terence Crawford is going to win this fight by unanimous decision, but I don't think Canelo's going to get washed. And I don't need to talk bad about Canelo and say, oh, Canelo's a hype job. Canelo's not. Nah, my people. Canelo a great. We're going to have two pound-for-pound fighters, two of the greats of this era, face each other. I'm expecting fireworks. And that narrative that Crawford is going to be running, Canelo's going to have to chase him, you could forget about that narrative, my peoples. I promise you. This fight is going to take place. Forget about a phone booth. It's going to take place inside of a powder keg. It's going to be explosive. I promise you that. Brian Romero, after Canelo, I want to see Crawford fight Charlo and call it a day. Look, they've already, and His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh mentioned it. Stavi, you a box wreck? Box wreck? I don't know what you mean by that. Romero, so I would say Turkey Al Sheikh has already let the cat out the bag that there is going to be a rematch. So that's what I'm expecting to happen. Crawford is going to beat Canelo by unanimous decision, and they're going to do a rematch. And then Crawford's going to beat him again. If they were to split wins in the first two, then we're going to have to get a trilogy. But I see Crawford winning 2 in a row and call it a day from there. Melvin Sanra, Jay Person here. What does the size of boxing ring affect? I mean, the size of a boxing ring is always going to be favorable for a puncher if he's facing a boxer. So if a guy likes to run around a lot, move around a lot, and he's facing a guy who's a puncher who likes to apply pressure, is going to favor him. But that's what I've been trying to explain to people. Crawford's not a runner. He's never been a runner. So the size of the ring is not going to give Canelo an advantage at all. We're going to see that come September 13th. Frank, do you think Canelo is the strongest puncher Crawford ever faced? So I have to say that Canelo is the stronger puncher Crawford ever faced. I have to agree with you on that. And you got to think about it. He's moving up to 168. This is the highest division that he's ever fought in. So we have to say that Canelo is the hardest puncher he faced. Presidente Fades. He's got skills, bro. That's why he's the face of boxing. He's the pay-per-view king. This fight is only talked because King Canelo. How many pay-per-view Crawford has? So again, Presidente, I'm trying to explain that to you. Being a pay-per-view king, being the face of boxing, how many people watch your fights, how popular you are, doesn't mean shit when two fighters get in the ring with each other, my guy. Dimitri Bivol is not a pay-per-view king and he beat the shit out of Canelo. Dimitri Bivol is not the face of boxing. He beat the shit out of Canelo. That doesn't mean anything, my brother. Stop bringing up pay-per-view numbers and pay-per-view fights and popularity like if that mean anything. Skills is what's going to dictate who's going to win the fight. Not who you like better. Not who you think is more popular. That doesn't mean anything, my guy. Triple Savage official. Crawford is similar to Naoya Inoue. I think we can make a comparison in the way that they fight. Not I wouldn't say their mechanics, but I would say there's some comparisons that could be made. Angry Mexican, 16x16 or 18x18 ring will keep the fight in the pocket. Bro, it don't matter what type of ring they pick. It's still going to be Crawford winning by unanimous decision. I'm trying to tell you. Ozzy, Marquez thinks Crawford beats Canelo and he's Mexican. But I don't think he likes Canelo. I mean, a lot of fighters see Crawford winning that fight. A lot of fighters. But then there's also a lot of fighters who see Canelo winning it. So, it's hard to go by just an opinion. Alchin Adic. Bro looks like DC. Triple Savage official. Why Canelo walks like he's walking in wet cement? What's with the style? That's just how he moves, my brother. Evander, 685. Crawford gonna beat Canelo, and I'm Mexican. I got Crawford beating him too. I will tell you, I've noticed that Crawford does have a Mexican fan base. Obviously, not like Canelo. Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the most popular boxer and obviously the most popular Mexican fighter. So Crawford is not going to have a Mexican fan base like that. But since he beat Errol Spence, Bud Crawford has gained a Mexican fan base. I've seen a lot of Mexicans started to support him after that and say, he's for real. Banks OZ, you either a stablemate of Terrence or a promoter or just his number one fan because you really like Crawford. Maker, is it real that Boots is training with Canelo? Yes. I can't remember which fight. I can't remember which fighter it was, but I saw a fighter say, Canelo's fighting Boots. And he posted that because he was in the gym and Canelo was sparring with Boots in preparation for Crawford. So it looks like that's a great option, by the way. If you think about it, Boots being a switch hitter, being a guy that's going to go southpaw, go orthodox, has height, he's going to be a great sparring partner to simulate what Terrence Crawford does in the ring. So, as far as what you're saying, Banks OZ, that I must be a stablemate because I really like Crawford or whatever, what have I really said for you to say that? You're saying that because I got him winning Canelo. That's pretty much it. That's like me saying, well, you're a stablemate or a promoter of Canelo because all the things you say when you talk about Canelo. I'm simply rendering my opinion of who I see winning the fight. Maker. Oh no, Maker, we already answered that. Tactical statistician, Crawford and underdog, if they box, pound for pound, it's a different story. Crawford underdog. I mean, Crawford is going to be the underdog. Crawford is going to be the underdog in this fight. But you're going to find out what the story's going to be. You don't know. It's not going to play out the way you think it's going to play out. Banks OZ, Canelo is the face of boxing. You see, when you say that, my brother, you sound like a Canelo fanboy. Nobody's talking. Nobody said Canelo's not the face of boxing. Nobody's talking about the popularity. You come with a parachute out of nowhere. Canelo's the face of boxing. And you telling me that I'm like a stablemate or that I really like Crawford? You know how much you really, really like Canelo to come out of nowhere? Yo, Canelo's the face of boxing, though. What? What are you talking about? You see? That's some fan shit right there out of the blue. Ozzy, I think Canelo still has a puncher's chance, too. I agree with you 100%. I was saying that earlier. You know, if Canelo hurts Crawford, he's going to try to get him out of there. And he could hurt him with a shot to where even if he don't stop him, he could hurt him bad enough to where Crawford's not able to recover and go back to being himself. And if that happens, Canelo can win the fight. Banks OZ, Canelo will beat Crawford, and you're going to be disappointed. That's it. Okay, if you say that. I hope when Crawford whoop that ass, you show up to this live. I hope when Crawford whoop that ass, your internet don't get messed up. You didn't drop your phone and it wasn't working. Your Wi-Fi went down. I hope none of those things happen, and I see you over here. I hope you don't do the same thing y'all did with Errol Spence. Y'all spent the whole training camp talking about how Errol was going to knock Crawford out. And then after Errol got beat up, y'all changed your whole story. Now it was the car accident, and you know Errol wasn't the same anymore. Banks OZ, you're going to be doing the same shit. When Crawford put the beats on Canelo, you're going to be like, you know, Canelo just wasn't the same. He didn't look the same anymore. And I think Canelo, maybe something was wrong with him. I don't want to hear that, though. I'm going to tell you right away, I don't want to hear that shit. Armando Aguilar, Crawford's going to get Amir Khan. Mr. Cayo, John Parham, it's going to be fireworks. Ace, B, 574. Bomac will have Crawford ready to go, of course. Bomac is a master. Gotta give him his props. Jay Hill, you speaking facts. Keep doing you. I appreciate you, my brother. Young Blood, he old as dust. I mean, you could be talking about me, that I'm old as dust, but Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, they're only 2 years apart. Crawford 37, Canelo 35. They're about the same age. John Parham, Jared, when has Bud ever been a money person? Mac, TNU, Canelo wins via TKO, round 8. I don't know. I think that's a crazy prediction. Crawford never been stopped. Crawford's undefeated. So I think that's a crazy prediction. But it's not outside of the realm of possibility. David Carter, if Buck can punch at 168, oh my God, he will be punching at 168. Watch. John Connor 12. Who do you think wins, Jake Paul or Canelo? I'm going to have to go for the experienced fighter, which is Jake Paul. Oh, now you're trolling, man. I don't even need to answer that. You're playing games. There's no need to answer that. Just Smarty Pants. Y'all tripping. Canelo's going to beat Crawford. Canelo too big. Crawford smart. He's going for the payday. So just Smarty Pants, how are you saying that Canelo is too big when just 2 weeks ago Canelo was weighing 168 pounds and Crawford was weighing 185? So Crawford was almost 20 pounds heavier than Canelo. Crawford is taller than Canelo, and he has more reach than Canelo, but somehow you believe that Canelo's too big. You go ahead and try to make that shit make sense. You go ahead and give it a shot. Give it a shot. Come on now. For the people that are saying that Canelo Alvarez is too big, how is a guy weighing 168 too big for a guy weighing 185 who's also taller than him? Y'all tell me. I need to figure it out. Y'all can make it make sense for me. That's why I tell you, you're not going based off of the facts. You're going based off of who you like. You like Canelo, you saying crazy shit about Crawford. But I tell you, my people, you can see the difference. You can see the difference between someone who's just talking facts versus somebody who's talking out of bias. Somebody who's talking out of who they like. Because how are you going to tell me that Canelo is too big when we just saw him go face-to-face in 3 different press conferences with Terence Crawford? Face-to-face right there. Did he look too big? You're watching him on camera, on video. Did he look too big for Crawford? No, not at all. But you want to keep feeding into this narrative because you want to believe that Canelo is much bigger. He's not. There's not going to be an advantage in size. There's not going to be an advantage in power like you think there's going to be. We saw them. We saw them face to face, my peoples. Stop it. Mr. Cayo, they just going to look even more stupid when the so-called smaller man, Bud Crawford, outskills Canelo come September. Now what's going to look crazy, listen, I believe all the people that are saying that Canelo's too big, Canelo's too big. Yo, when they finally face each other for the weigh-in, and Crawford cut down to 168 from 185, and he's going to look bigger, he's going to look stronger, he's going to look more ripped, more jacked than Canelo at 168, yo, I think Canelo fans just going to be scared. I think they're going to see them at the weigh-in, and they're going to be like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. That's what I think is going to happen. Because what do you think, my people? Think about this, bro. If Terence Crawford right now is weighing 185 pounds and he's going to cut down to 168, how you think he's going to look when he gets to that weight? Yo, he's going to be jacked at 168. And for those who think that he was going to be fat, that he was going to be slow maybe, I want you to think about that. Bud has been moving around in the 180s, working out in the gym, sparring, hitting the bags, running, doing all that stuff in the 180s. And he's going to cut down to 185. He's going to look more jacked than Canelo. His body's going to look more defined. He's going to be faster. We already know who has the better footwork. It's not going to go down the way some of y'all think. Crawford might even make it look easy at times. Expect that. John Parham, Armando, one thing you will learn here, JSmiff, is never biased. CB, Canelo looks small as hell. Plus, he do not have the footwork, head movement, and the boxing IQ Crawford has. Yo, CB, that's what I'm trying to say. How are people ignoring the size? Like, how could people still be saying that Canelo's too big? How can you say Canelo's too big when we saw them face to face, bro? People in denial. John Parham. I appreciate it, my brother. JJ Zendejas. I saw JJ Zendejas' comment, man, and I missed it. Let me scroll back, because that's my brother right there. JJ Zendejas, good morning, JSmiff. God bless you and the Box Center family. Hit the like button, my peoples. We already in 20 likes, but it's 40-something of us. I could get at least 20 likes. If you guys wanted to, I could get 20 more likes in the next, 10 seconds. If you guys wanted to. Everybody just say, hey, fuck it, let me give this nigga that like button. He looking out. Bang. Giving us this boxing shit right here. Armando Aguilar. But he's not used to fighting at that weight. Plus, he hasn't fought in a year. So, Armando Aguilar, I want you to consider this. You're saying he's not used to fighting at that weight. Meanwhile, Crawford sparring in the gym with cruiserweights, with light heavyweights. This guy's working out with big fighters. But since you bring up that, I want to remind you, my brother, Canelo Alvarez started his career at the 147 division, got his first title at 154. Whether you believe it or not, Canelo Alvarez is not a true 168 pounder. He's a small 168 pounder, and everybody's ignoring that fact. Canelo Alvarez has been smaller than every single opponent he faced at the 168 division, my brother. He's not a big dude. Why are we acting like Crawford is moving up a bunch of divisions to fight this giant? No, Canelo's small. He's a small guy. Canelo's a small guy who moved up multiple divisions too, just like Crawford. He's a 154 pounder who moved up and landed at 168. I will compare Canelo to Manny Pacquiao, who was very small at the welterweight division, but because he got skills, he was able to have success. He was able to win titles at the welterweight division. Canelo, he's able to win at 168 because he got skills, but he's a small dude. He's not a big guy. He's not going to be big in front of Crawford. He's not big in front of Crawford. We already seen it. Mr. Tszyu plus Canelo left a lot head movement at 160. Then Billy Joe and Danny Jacob days is over. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I was talking about that in yesterday's live. That Canelo, these days he get hit a lot more than he used to. Canelo was real sharp when it came to slipping punches. Nah, he eating a lot of those these days. Mr. Tszyu, like I said, Bud ain't just a boxer. He's an athlete. A special athlete, by the way. CB, she sure is small. I'm telling you, Canelo's a small dude. He's not a big fighter. Armando Aguilar, yeah, but Canelo been at 168 for years. Thus, is Bud's first fight. Good morning, Ryan. I love you, Ryan. Good morning. You want to say good morning to the people? You don't want to say good morning? You don't want to talk boxing right now? JJ said that Crawford is going to outbox Canelo without running. There's not going to be any running. There ain't going to be no running going on, my people. That's why I say they created the whole running narrative to play mind games, to try to get Crawford to commit to being over-aggressive, to making mistakes in the fight. Crawford is not dumb. He's not going to fight no rock'em sock'em robots. He's not going to fall into the mind games. He's going to fight smart. He's going to be in and out. He's going to use the footwork. He's going to use the counter punching. Crawford is going to use all the tools and resources at his disposal to beat Canelo. He's not going to allow them to play mind games and make him fight their fight. Mr. Tszyu, facts. Pacquiao wasn't knocking shit out at welterweight, but he was hurting people and dropping them, just like Canelo at 168 dropped Charlo, didn't finish him, dropped Berlanga, didn't finish him. Because, that's it, at 168, guys are a lot bigger than Canelo. So it's hard for him to knock him out. He could drop him if he catch him with a big shot, but you're fighting big dudes. Marco Hernandez, F. Crawford grown, he doesn't have a chance. He doesn't have a chance. You're going to be disappointed, bro. You're going to be real disappointed. Just like Amir Khan tried. All right. It's almost like you keep forgetting that Canelo got his ass whooped by two fighters already. Got outboxed by two fighters already. Got made to look average by two fighters already. There's a blueprint to beat Canelo Alvarez. Nobody beat Crawford. You remember that. When you say that he doesn't have a chance, just remember that nobody beat him in his whole career. And two people put the beats on Canelo. So, if you think your statement makes sense, have at it. But he's going to get beat up. Canelo's getting beat up. Sorry. Baking with Ben. Terrence Crawford is the GOAT. Terrence Crawford's a great fighter, man. And they don't want to accept it. They're going to find out once again. Once again. Marco Hernandez, he's not going to hurt Canelo, and Canelo is going to keep coming. I understand that, Marco Hernandez. Dimitri Bivol did not hurt Canelo. Floyd Mayweather did not hurt Canelo. And they beat the shit out of him. That's what you have to understand, Marco Hernandez. You don't have to hurt Canelo to beat him. You just have to outbox him. The notion that if you don't hurt him, you're in trouble. Floyd and Bivol already answered those questions. Baking with Ben, but if Canelo lands that right hand, nothing is going to happen. They're just going to keep fighting. Canelo landed that right hand on Bivol and nothing happened. He landed that right hand on Floyd. He landed that right hand on a lot of people. And why do you think that Canelo just knocking everybody out, bro? Are you seeing in the 168 division, are you understanding that at 168 he ain't been knocking out people like he used to? Come on, man. Jerry Smarty Pants, I think Canelo lost to Lara. A lot of people think Canelo lost to Lara. If you think about it, till this day, a lot of people felt he lost that fight. And what did Lara have on Canelo? The height and reach advantages. The same thing that Terence Crawford has. Terence Crawford doesn't have a lot of height advantage, but he has a lot of reach advantage on Canelo. I think Canelo lost to Lara. Samson, Crawford getting stopped. I mean, just tell me that you don't like Crawford. I never understood how somebody predict that a fighter who never lost is going to get stopped. I don't know how you predict that, but I hope that your feelings aren't too hurt when Canelo loses. I hope that your heart can handle that pain that you're going to be going through. Bacon with Ben, he beat Caleb Plant. Yeah, of course. Mr. Cayo, he don't understand though that Mexican style is beatable. If fell to the Soviet style and the slick defensive style, and he gonna fall to Bud style. I think Canelo got outboxed by Lara, slightly clean. I felt that Lara could have won that fight if some of those swing rounds were scored in his favor. That could have been his fight. It was a good fight. I think that Canelo, people could make an argument that he pulled away in the championship rounds where he was chasing, and Lara started using more footwork and started punching less. But I feel like Lara showed us the blueprint once again. If you keep Canelo at the end of that jab and you use that footwork, you could beat him. Bacon with Ben, but Devin Haney never lost, right? Devin lost. He lost to Ryan Garcia, and then the loss was overturned because of the stuff with the steroids. But he lost, and it was overturned. Nothing, even they could change it, they could delete the videos. Nothing is ever going to make us forget about the beating that Ryan Garcia gave Devin. We ain't going to forget that now. For DGAJ, same goes to you if Crawford loses. Keep it original ministry. Canelo wins. Jamie Gibling, Crawford will win 100%. You see, my people, that's how you know that this is a very, very competitive fight. When you have people feeling that Crawford wins 100%, and you have people feeling Canelo wins also 100%. So who is going to win? Who is going to win? When everybody feels so comfortable about it. Because I tell you, I feel real confident that Crawford is going to win this fight. I really do feel confident. Now, I'm not, because I don't go with who I just like and that's it. I'm not telling you Crawford is going to win just because I like him. I like Canelo too. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters too, my peoples. I got Crawford winning, number one, because of the physical advantages that he has. He's a little bit taller and he has longer reach than Canelo. Number two, I got Crawford winning because he's the fighter with the better footwork out of the two. Number three, I got Crawford winning because I feel like he's the guy who has the boxing skills to win this fight based on everything that I've just said. Not just, I like this guy better, he's going to win. He's going to smoke the guy that I don't like. Nah. I see Crawford having the physical and technical attributes to beat Canelo Alvarez. Armando Rosado, my only concern with Crawford is I'm not sure if he can take those body and arm shots. I would have liked to see Crawford in a fight with a 168 C-class fighter before that fight. You don't understand, my brother. If Crawford would have fought another 168 pounder before fighting this one, it would have took away from this fight. This fight is as interesting as it is because of that. Because you don't know if Crawford is going to be able to handle 168. Because he is making his debut in that division. Because he is jumping up multiple divisions. But if Crawford fought somebody else, like you said, a C-level fighter, you know what's going to happen? You and almost everybody else in this chat that doesn't like Crawford is going to be like, look, he went to 168 to fight a bum. He went to 168 to fight nobody. That's no Canelo that he's fighting. Why are you fighting that guy? So you saying you would like to see him fight a C-class guy at 168, but that's bullshit. If he did fight a C-class guy at 168, everybody's going to hate on him. Look, this guy Madrimov is a world champion. And look at the hate everybody's giving him for beating a world champion at 154. Oh, Madrimov is nobody. So it's not really about that you would like to see him fight a C-class level at 168 to acclimate. It's that you want to see him fight C-class level people so you could keep hating on him. You don't want to see him go straight for Canelo and beat his ass. Jamie Giblin, Crawford hasn't lost a fight, and that's what I've been saying. When people feel so sure that Canelo's going to smoke him, Crawford never lost. There's already a blueprint to beat Canelo. Two people with two different styles beat Canelo convincingly. Convincingly. Keep it original ministry. B was normal at 154. To say that he was normal at 154, that just means that you don't like Crawford or you don't know shit about boxing. One of the two. To say that somebody normal beats an undefeated reigning world champion, that means that you don't know shit about boxing. Somebody who's normal would have got knocked out by Madrimov. Virgil Ortiz, is Virgil Ortiz normal too? Because Virgil Ortiz won 12 rounds. Virgil Ortiz also went 12 rounds with Madrimov. Is Virgil Ortiz normal too? Because he couldn't stop him? So when you say that somebody's normal for beating a reigning world champion, you don't know shit about boxing. That's the only thing I could tell you, my guy. I hope you subscribe to this channel so you could learn. You could get yourself up to date. Mr. Cayo, doesn't make sense. He ain't even fight a C-class fighter at 154. Bro, Crawford didn't fight a C-class fighter since he was like 10-0 or some shit like that. In the last 15 years of his career, he ain't fight a C-class fighter. And you want him to fight a C-class fighter. That shows the hate. You dying for him to fight bums so you can say, look, he's fighting a bum. He's fighting a nobody. You just want to hate on him. You're not concerned. You concerned about the fact that you cannot hate on him. You concerned about the fact that he's going to whoop Canelo. That's what you're really concerned about. Jamie Giblin, Crawford has had a lot of fights. 42 professional fights, bro. 42. Mr. Cayo and Canelo not coming out wild like Madrimov on that night when they fought. And look how Buck kept his composure and still won convincingly. No, and look, Madrimov is a fighter who nobody's going to look good against him. Why? Because he has that awkward style. He's constantly feigning like this. The whole fight, the whole 12 rounds, feint. When a fighter fights like that, yo, it's mad hard to time him. Because he's going to feint right now, and then the next time around, he's going to feint and jab. Then he's going to feint twice and move and feint and throw punches. And he's constantly moving. Madrimov is a tough opponent to look good against. So when you try to say how Crawford looked against Madrimov, oh, he didn't look good, you don't know shit about boxing. That's why you're saying that. Look at Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz had the benefit of tape, of footage on Madrimov. Because remember, before Terence Crawford fought Madrimov, most of us never even seen Madrimov, my peoples. Let's keep it 100. Most of us never even seen Madrimov before he fought Crawford. He was fighting in Europe, in TV channels that we never even seen. So, that's right, that herky-jerky style. So, when Crawford fought him, there wasn't a lot of footage on his opponent. We just know that he's a European fighter who is a world champion. But now, when Virgil Ortiz fought him, he had the benefit of a full 12-round fight with Terence Crawford. He had the video to study Madrimov. And he prepared for Madrimov's style in training camp. And he still couldn't stop him. Doesn't that tell you how good Madrimov actually is? But instead of accepting that Madrimov is a world champion, a good one, you want to hate on Crawford. So you're like, yeah, he didn't look good against Madrimov. Be the reigning world champion, man. What are you talking about? El Baiza stayed in the lower divisions all his career. He didn't want to come up of his comfort zone. He didn't want to risk his career, and he older than Canelo. So, El Baiza, I gotta tell you, you simply don't like Terence Crawford. Maybe you haven't been following his career, or maybe you don't know shit about boxing. Because Terence Crawford, my brother, he's fought at 134, at 135. He's fought at 130. He's fought at 135. He's fought at 140. He's fought at 147. Fought at 154. And now he's jumping all the way. He's fought at 135. Let me rephrase that. Fought at 135. Fought at 140. Fought at 147. And now he's moving all the way up to 164. And you talking about he stayed in the lower weight classes? Bro, Terence Crawford is already a 4-division champion. What the hell are you talking about? That's why when you hate on somebody, you come up with horrible explanations. Your hate for Crawford doesn't even let you talk facts. You formulate crazy-ass opinions that don't even make no sense. That he stayed in lower weight classes? What are you talking about? How the hell are you a 4-division champion who's going to jump up 2 divisions, but you stayed in lower classes? Now you just finding something to say, man. You just trying to figure out something to say, because how could you even say that about a 4-division champion? Come on now. Stop it, bro. Armando Rosado, Duran's greatest accomplishment was beating Barkley because of age and weight. That's a huge accomplishment. I would say Duran's biggest accomplishment might actually be Sugar Ray Leonard. And the reason I say that is because Sugar Ray Leonard is, regarded higher than Iran Barkley as an all-time great, as a champion, as everything. Some people feel like Sugar Ray Leonard is the greatest of all time. So I think the win over Sugar Ray Leonard is Mano de Piedra Duran's biggest win of his career. That's my personal opinion. Keeping it original ministry. Speaking truth has you assuming that we don't like Crawford. You're a joke. Have me assuming that you don't like Crawford. I don't even know what you're talking about with that comment. But you're talking about that I'm a joke. Bro, if you're saying that I'm a joke, you're a joke. You the goofball sitting over there watching me. You're the one watching me, you goofball. If you think I'm a joke, go to another channel. Jamie Giblin, Crawford will go down as a great. Of course, my brother. Crawford is already one of the best fighters of this era. So is Canelo Alvarez. They're both pound-for-pound fighters. But Crawford will go down as an all-time great. So will Canelo. Canelo's already an all-time great. If Canelo was to retire right now, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Right now. Without fighting again. John Parham. Elbaz, I see you're 420 friendly. You must be baked this morning. Must be. John Parham. Jamie, definitely he should. El Baiza. It's not the same walking as boxing, but hasn't fought nobody. Sonic Boom 717. Canelo round 5. Oh my God, yo. Canelo round 5. Respectfully, my guy, you don't know shit about boxing. I gotta let y'all know. If you don't know shit about boxing, you need somebody to tell you. That's gonna be me. When you take a fighter who's never been knocked out, who's never lost, and you say that he's gonna get knocked out in 5, you don't know shit about boxing. Una sorpresa me va a dar. Idéntico está limpiecito. Ah, dame un abrazo.
Mi nariz le tacó el puma.
Está limpiecita. JJ Sendejas, great to talk boxing with all you guys.
Adivina que está aquí. Yo tengo mi jugo de limón.
¿Tienes tu jugo de limón? Déjame terminar con la gente. Let me finish the show. My son is trying to get me out of here. Get the juice. Go ahead, get the juice for yourself. Está bien, anda a ver, búscalo. John Pound, Sonic, come on, bro. Jamie Giblin, this is funny. John Pound, round 5 is crazy. Like, round 5? That's why y'all people need somebody to tell them that they don't know shit about boxing. So they could look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I don't know shit about boxing. Let me calm down with these opinions. Armando Rosado, my friend Sugar stole that accomplishment in the rematch. Nah, my brother, he didn't steal that accomplishment. Don't say that. If I beat you, and I'm the first guy to beat you, you could beat me afterwards, but nothing is going to change the fact that I'm the first guy to beat you. Nothing is ever going to change that Mano de Piedras Duran was the first guy to beat Sugar Ray Leonard. And the beauty about that win, it wasn't a controversial win. It wasn't, you've never seen nobody say that Sugar Ray Leonard got robbed or that Duran was gifted the decision. No, he won that fight. If you go watch the replay, when the last bell went off, you could see Duran celebrating. They knew they won the fight. You could see Sugar Ray Leonard and his team like this. They looked like they was in a funeral. They knew they lost. So, Leonard beating Duran in the rematch doesn't take the accomplishment away, my brother. It just shows that they're both great fighters. Duran proved that he was a great fighter when he beat Leonard, and then Leonard proved that he was a great fighter when he won in the rematch. You got your juice? You got your lemon juice? Man, drink your juice, man. Stop playing with me. Drink your juice. Mr. Cayo, 4King era was different. No cap. The thing about that era is that everybody was fighting each other. We're almost finished. That's the difference.
Mama.
That's why with Floyd Mayweather, a lot of people say that, Floyd Mayweather kind of ruined boxing.
Papá, ya terminamos. Después terminar. Cuando terminamos, 5 minutos de terminar.
Okay. So hold on. Go ahead. Drink the juice with mommy so that I can finish the show. I'm about to finish. Go ahead. Go with mommy. So, what I was saying when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, and a lot of people feel that way, that because of Floyd Mayweather, boxing changed. Okay. Okay. I'm going to finish right now, and then I'm going to go with you. So, you know that Floyd Mayweather retired undefeated, and because of that, a lot of fighters want to try to emulate what he did. And they don't risk it no more as much as they used to. There's still some throwback fighters out there. And there's still, I'm going to tell you, fans also affect boxing. Because when fans start discrediting fighters who lose, that makes fighters not want to lose because everybody's going to turn on them. But there's still the fans who don't care about a loss. There's still the fans who just want to see the best fight the best. The good fighters fight the good fighters. Like I'll give you an example. One of the fighters who's already taken multiple losses, and I still feel like he's going to become a world champion. I still feel like he's really good. Tim Tszyu. I'm rocking with Tim Tszyu, my people. And he's taking some losses. But you'll notice that right now, there's already a lot of people who wrote Tim Tszyu off. That's it. Oh, yeah, he a hype job. Oh, yeah. But check out the people who beat Tim Tszyu. Sebastian Fundora, the world champion, and Bakram. Bakram is a guy, a European fighter who got a lot of power, who's very big, very strong, and who most of us didn't even know until he fought Tim Tszyu. But when I see Timmy in the ring, his style, his tenacity, the way he applies pressure, his heart, he's a carbon copy of Costa Tszyu. I know that Costa fought at a lower weight class or at lower weight classes, and he was a little bit faster because of that. But the style, the defensive approach, the offensive approach is identical to his pops. So I see Timmy still being able to become a world champion, even though he has a couple of losses. So it's nothing wrong with taking an L. Doesn't mean you're a hype job or you're not that good. And that's what's going on with social media boxing fans. As soon as somebody take an L, you want to discredit them. JJ Sendejas, God bless everyone. Have a good day and safe day. Appreciate you, my brother. Bam. Mr. Kayo, Tim Tough. He loved the game. Hell yeah, man. He a tough kid. And he a warrior. And he can fight. Mr. Kayo, JSmiff, do you think they wrote him off the way they did Errol Spence? Or Errol got it worse? I think that Timmy got it worse. And the reason I say Timmy got it worse is because I know that, Errol, people turned their backs on him, even a lot of his own fans. But I would say the difference is Errol Spence never climbed in the ring after losing. So with Errol Spence, I understand that you never fought. As of right now, we could say Crawford retired you because he never fought. So I feel like Timmy got it worse because Timmy's already fought multiple times, and now that he's taken 2 losses, it's almost like people want to say that he's a hype job. With Errol Spence, people not really saying that he's a hype job or that he's not that good. They're more saying that he got destroyed by Crawford and he got retired. But with Timmy, people are saying that he's a hype job or that he's not as good as we thought he was. And it's not true. He is as good as we think he is. He just happened to lose. That's all. It happens in boxing. People lose. People lose in boxing. Armando Rosado, Duran beating Aaron Barkley, being 135, going all the way to 168 to be champion at 38. I think that's great. If Crawford does it, make him greater than what he is. Well, my brother, hold on, because Duran did not jump from 135 to 168 to fight Aaron Barkley. He didn't make that jump. He had already fought at 147. He had already fought. So he gradually, he didn't jump from 135 to 168, my guy. Now, Crawford is definitely jumping up from 154 to 168. Look, Duran beating Barkley, that was huge. That was a huge win. But I think Terence Crawford beating Canelo is going to be a bigger win. And I say that because Canelo, in the pound-for-pound rankings, in the all-time rankings, he's going to be ahead of Aaron Barkley. He's more accomplished than Aaron Barkley. So I think Crawford's win is going to be bigger. I think, honestly, Crawford's win over Canelo may end up being one of the biggest wins in boxing history. If you think about all the circumstances, everything that's at play, we're talking about for undisputed. Growth in Christ. Roelly just did it, beat Ryan after a few losses. And that was a big win. Roelly beating Ryan is probably the biggest win of his career. Pero no te lo bebas todo. Guárdalo para ahorita si tú quieres. Guárdalo para que siga bebiendo ahorita. I still got Tszyu. Mr. Kayo, I still got Tszyu getting over Errol. I got Tim Tszyu beating Errol too if they fight. I got that fight. Mr. Kayo, Background beat the brakes off Tim Tszyu. Yup. Beat him up bad. But I would say Background is similar to Madrimov. And the reason I say that is because Background is a fighter, not popular. We don't know him. We didn't know him before the fight. And he showed out. Tim Tszyu was overconfident. He went in there thinking, I'm going to blow this guy out of the water. And got cooked. I think this is going to be, or was, a learning experience for Timmy. And he's going to fight Fondora, and I think it's going to be a great fight. Growth in Christ. Boys underestimate Roelly. Boys underestimated Roelly. I got to say, my brother, Roelly's, I underestimated him too. I thought Ryan Garcia was going to stop him. But, you got to admit it, we never seen Roelly that sharp. At least me, I never seen Roelly looking that sharp. How he did against Ryan Garcia. Salas, you got the Cuban boxing coach, Salas. They had Roelly's looking good. That jab to the body, to Ryan's body, bang, 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 consistently. Catching Ryan with that. That's how he was able to drop him with that left hook. Was catching him with that jab to the body. Eventually, Ryan was trying to make sure he didn't take those stiff jabs to the body. Hands down, man down. Caught that left hook to the chin. So Roelly's, man, he looked real sharp. If this is the version of Roelly's that we're going to get going forward, he might be a problem. We might see Roelly grab another title, become a world champion once again. JJ said that Spence is done at the top level. He better start fighting somebody getting too rusty. I mean, we're going to see. We're going to see what Errol Spence is able to do. We're going to see. Because Errol, he's had a lot of inactivity. How can he bounce back from that? Inactivity when you're in your mid-30s already, that's a fighter's enemy. So, and Spence always used to say that he was against tune-ups. I don't do tune-ups. If he comes back, it better be a tune-up. Coming back to a world champion or to an elite-level fighter, it could be disastrous. Errol could take another nasty beating and retired punch-drunk. So, honestly, Spence, I know that he's investing some of his money, buying property, and he's good financially. I believe that Errol Spence should retire. He took a lot of hard punches to the head versus Terrence Crawford, and I believe he shouldn't take any more punishment. Javi. Ve tu peso. Te quiero mucho. Sí, ya no vamos ahí. Mr. Kyle, yeah, that fight I paid for. He one of them high-risk, low-reward type of guys. Growth in Christ. My peoples, I'm about to end this live. Before I do, I want to give a shout-out to everybody who tuned in. I see some people subscribe to the channel today. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who hit the like button. Shout-out to the Growth in Christ, Mr. Kyle, JJ Zendejas, my brother John Parham, always showing love. Underrated Will. Good morning, Underrated Will. I didn't see you earlier, my brother. I always appreciate you coming through. El Baisa, and everybody else who showed up this morning, my peoples. Y'all already know what it is. I'm JSmiff. This is Box Center. This is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show.
Mamá no dijo que no quedaba.
Sí, ya yo te voy a llevar para el colegio. Tengo que llevarte para el colegio, para que te rosa. My peoples, I'm JSmiff.
No vamos a quedar.
No puedo. Ay, y te tengo que limpiar el ojito bien también. My people, espérate. Déjame decirle bye a la gente. He's mad because, he's mad because I told him that he wants to stay with me, and I told him I got to take him to school. Now he wanted to be mad. Mr. Kyle, let me see what Mr. Kyle's saying, Ryan. JJ said that, I'll see you later, my brother. Growth in Christ, subscribe, my brother. Nice to meet you. I appreciate you subscribing, coming through. Check out the videos, by the way. Since you're a new subscriber, I post a lot of videos, short videos with music, with graphics, with video, within the video, with images. So the videos that I post, the shorts and the long videos, they're fire, my brother. Check them out. I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy it. Mr. Kyle, safety, JSmiff. Keep telling the truth on here. Shout out to Dominican Republic. Y'all better not get out of line with JSmiff. He got them hands. You already know it, my brother. I appreciate you. Salute to everybody. Peace. One love. Ryan got to go to school. I got to go to work. I appreciate each and every one of you spending time talking boxing with me, my peoples. 7 p.m. Eastern time tonight. We're going to be talking Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. They about to mix it up. We got to talk about that. We got to make some predictions. I'll see you tonight, my peoples. Y'all already know what